Welcome back to the Pete and Brenda Show. Merry Christmas. It is Thursday, December 24th on the Lifestyle Talk Radio Network.
But did you know that you can actually, you have another option, recycle the fruitcake? Yeah. And we want to welcome Barb Bailey to the Pete and Brenda Show. Hi, Barb. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thanks.
Now, Barbara, you're with the Fruitcake Recycling Company?
It's actually called the Great Fruitcake Recycling Project.
You can actually recycle fruitcake, and there's actually somewhere where you can do that.
Absolutely. Well, we started the project because we found that there were an awful lot of unwanted fruitcakes that were ending up in the landfill.
Yeah.
And there's such a great environmental danger to putting them in the landfill because they take so long to break down that we thought with such a resilient resource we should try to do other things with it.
Now, where are you guys located?
We're in Denver, Colorado.
Give us a little bit how this whole process works. What do you guys do?
Well, we use fruitcakes in a variety of ways. We're working right now with the Department of Transportation on a new road cover that will be much more resilient than concrete. So it should last 100 years versus 20 years for concrete.
By using these recycled fruitcakes?
Absolutely. We're also using them in building projects. In fact, our new fruitcake recycling factory is going to be built completely of fruitcake.
That's interesting.
What's the average size for a fruitcake, do you know?
The majority of the fruitcakes that are sold commercially are 1 to 3 pounds, but we have seen fruitcakes much larger than that. Unfortunately, we can't lift them, so there's no way to weigh them for sure.
Well, when you think about it, the Roman conquerors, which is where we date fruitcakes back to, they used them not just as food. I think it was made from like barley mash and fruits and pomegranate seeds and things like that. But they really were lethal weapons that they would use to catapult.
Absolutely. And do you know that they would bury the people with fruitcakes so they'd have something to eat in the afterlife?
Yes, the Egyptians did that. You're right.
Yes.
Trace it back to that as well.
And my contention with that, and I agree wholeheartedly that you should bury people with it because most people would rather die first before eating fruitcake.
Barbara, do you eat fruitcake?
Absolutely not.
Have you ever?
Oh, I have. And in fact, my grandmother used to make fruitcake that just one whiff of it would get you snockered. But I haven't taken it internally for years. Did you know that a properly prepared and aged fruitcake is actually stronger than brick? That's why we're using it on our fruitcake warehouse, because it will be completely impervious to the elements.
That is amazing.
Wow.
So is this a thing of the future for home builders?
I think so. You know, Dennis Weaver started the trend several years ago by building a house here in Colorado out of all recycled materials.
And, of course, you're talking about McLeod, right?
Yes, absolutely. And since he could do that, and he actually has a completely self-sustained system, we thought, well, what better to do than take all these fruitcakes, keep them out of the landfill, and actually use them for something good.
Do we know how many were actually put in landfills?
There's millions of them that reach the landfill every year.
And these are ones that have not even been opened, right?
Not opened. And unfortunately, they sit there, they don't break down for millions of years, and once they do, they release toxic gases that are damaging to the environment.
I guess when we think about ingredients in fruitcake, candied cherries and citrons and rum, we don't necessarily think of that as being toxic.
Well, if you've ever tasted it, you'd probably be able to recognize that.
We have a friend who makes it more like a pound cake.
Yeah.
And so it's moist and it's not hard.
I think that's insulting to the cake to name it a fruitcake, unless it really has all those inedible mystery fruit bits in it.
Anything else we should know, Barb?
Well, they can go to our website if they'd like to get involved in the project. It's fruitcakerecycling.com, and they can follow us on Twitter at Great Fruitcake.
So you can actually mail your fruitcake to the Fruitcake Recycling Project.
They can send them right to our project, the Great Fruitcake Recycling Project, Post Office Box 19323, Denver, 80219.
So we mail them right to you.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, Barb, thanks for your time on Christmas Eve. We really appreciate it, and we wish you a Merry Christmas and a fruitcake-free Christmas.
Thank you, and Merry Christmas to both of you.
Thank you, Barb. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Again, that website is fruitcakerecycling.com.
Okay.
And if you go there, they have some other interesting facts about the fruitcake posted on the website.
Yeah.
Here's one. If laid end to end,
right,
all the fruitcakes exchanged in one holiday season would stretch around the equator, causing the majority to sink like lead in the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans. Now, the United States city with the largest fruitcake consumption per capita is a place called Worms, Nebraska.
It's a Cornhusker.
Yes.
Okay.
Each recycled fruitcake circumnavigates the globe an average of 27 times before it ends up in the hands of somebody who will actually eat it.
Oh, wow.
And did you know this? You cannot make a cat a cat,
Okay.
eat fruitcake. And nobody's ever purchased a fruitcake for themselves.
Oh, my.
I don't know about that. I think some people do actually like it.
Well, I like the ones that come in a can. Is that what they all come in cans, though?
No, I think those little Claxon ones are actually pretty good. They're more like pound cake, but like Barb said, that's not a true fruitcake.
Now, true fruitcake is you can just drop it and nothing happens to it.
Yeah, thank you to Barb Bailey of the
my.
Great Fruitcake Recycling Project.